Class, welcome to taxation. This is the most challenging subject in the CPA licensure exam. So as I mentioned during our orientation, ito yung killer subject. Okay? Ito yung very reason why the passing rates have been so low. Ito yung reason kung bakit maraming students yung bumabagsak in the board exam. So we have to take this subject very, very seriously. Okay? So, sir, bakit ba mahirap yung taxation? Actually, ito yung 5 observations ko. Ito yung 5 reasons. Number 1, taxation is difficult because it is very different from accounting. Alright? So kahit maganda yung foundation mo sa accounting, magaling ka sa accounting, possible na hindi mag-translate yun sa grades mo in taxation. Because we have very different rules for accounting and for tax. Alright? Second reason, we only had 2 subjects, taxation subjects in college. So if you remember class, yung first tax subject mo is about income tax, and second tax subject mo is about business and transfer taxes. Okay? So if hindi na-discuss ang maayos yung income tax sa'yo nung college, sa isang subject ka lang makabawi. Right? And worse is, what if both subjects hindi yan discuss sa'yo ng maayos? So talaga mahihirapan ka pagdating sa board exam. Third reason is, there are too many references available. So yung mga students hindi alam kung ano yung references na okay gamitin. Yung iba bili ng books. And actually, pag ganun ginawa mo, you will notice na yung mga authors na yan, sometimes may mga conflicting concepts sila na tinuturo. So magkakause pa yun ng confusion sa mga students. Ayan. Fourth reason is, taxation is constantly changing and updating. So dati meron tayong NIRC, in-amend yun ng Train Law, amended by Create Law, and then meron Bayanihan Act 1, 2. Actually, yung Bayanihan Act 3 is already in process. Tapos from time to time, nagre-release si BIR ng BIR memos, regulations, circulars, etc. So it means yung knowledge natin ngayon sa tax, possible na magbabago na yan in the future. So dapat lagi tayong updated. Right? And because it's constantly changing and updating, yan, another challenge yan sa mga students. And last reason, na-notice ko class na whenever tinuturo yung tax, ang tendency is minimix yung mga concepts. So for example, topic pa lang today is income tax. Ang tendency is naglasama na agad ng concepts from business tax, from transfer taxes. Okay, nakaka-overwhelm yun sa mga students. Alright? And as your lecturer for this subject, I'll try my best na gawin natin dahan-dahan yung maging approach natin dito. Actually, magiging assumption ko class, as I teach this subject to you, assumption ko is, hindi ganun kaganda yung naging background mo in tax. Or at least, or average lang yung foundation mo sa taxation. Okay? Now, I have 2 objectives for this subject. Number 1, obviously, is to prepare you for the CPA licensure exam. So gusto ko mataas yung makuha yung grade sa tax. So mga at least 90%, 90 plus. Huwag mo naman yung 100 yung taxation. Okay na yung 90 plus. Right? Second reason ko, or objective ko is to encourage you to somehow consider this field, taxation, as your career path in the future. Okay, so sana ma-appreciate mo to. Ngayon mo magiging tax practitioner ka in the future. Right? So yun yung 2 objectives ko. Okay, so that's the introduction for this subject. Now, before we go to our main lesson, class, open nyo muna yung G-Sheets natin sa taxation. So, naalala nyo, may pinost ako sa Facebook group natin na link. Okay, Google Sheets for taxation. So, lagi nyo siyang i-open whenever may tax lecture tayo. From time to time, magre-refer ako dito. Alright? So, as you notice, meron tayo dyan general principles and individuals. So, as I teach more topics, magkakaroon ng bagong sheet yung G-Sheets natin. Alright? Sige, so focus muna tayo sa general principles. And lahat ng kailangan mo malaman sa general principles, nandiyan na. Okay? Sige. Okay, let's start with the topic. General principles of taxation. For today, puro concepts muna tayo. So wala pa tayong computations. Principles, concepts, and theories muna i-discuss natin for this session. Now, get your handouts. Let's proceed to general principles theory number 1. Okay. Diretso na tayo sa questions. The process or means by which the sovereign, through its lawmaking body, raises income to defray the expenses of the government. Okay, this is the very definition of taxation. Right? So theory number 1 is the definition of taxation. Illustrate natin yung class. As citizens of the Philippines, okay, so ito yung taxation. As citizens or taxpayers, we have the responsibility to pay taxes to the government. Okay? Actually, ang tawag natin dyan is the sovereign. Pag sinabing sovereign class, yun yung state. Basically, yun yung country natin, the Philippines, or the government. So, as citizens or taxpayers, we are obliged to pay taxes to the government, okay, to the state. Now, ano gagawin ni government dyan? Gagamitin yan to defray the expenses of the government, such as free education, okay, infrastructure, national defense, health, etc. Yan yung mga expenses of the government. And we call this public purpose. Right? So necessary yung expenses na yan for public purpose. Ibig sabihin, magbe-benefit yung public, tayo, the citizens of the Philippines. Okay? So this whole process is what we call taxation. So basahin ulit natin class yung definition. The process or means by which the sovereign, again, pag sinabing sovereign, yun yung state, yun yung country natin, or yun yung government natin, through its lawmaking body. Sir, ano yung lawmaking body? Tandaan mo class, yung lawmaking body na yan is the Congress or the legislature. Alright? Very important yan because yung power of taxation, remember this, is vested exclusively on the Congress or the legislature. Iyan yung may power of taxation. Got it? Okay. Raises income. Sir, ano yung income? Yung taxes. Iyan yung revenues or income ng government. Okay? To defray the expenses of the government. Ito yung expenses. For the benefit of the public. For our benefit. Alright? So yung whole process na yan is taxation. That's why answer natin sa number 1 is letter C. In fact, yung national budget natin class for year 2022, okay? Yung national budget natin is amounts to 5 trillion. Okay? Yung 5 trillion yan, yung gagamitin mo sa expenses, right? And bulk of the 5 trillion will go to DepEd, Department of Education, for free education, right? It will go to DPWH for infrastructure. It will go to DILG for the national defense or for the safety, for our safety. And last one is DOH or for health. Yung bulk of the 5 trillion budget will go to these departments. So, saan makukuha yung 5 trillion budget na yan? Paramihan dyan, kukunin sa taxes. Alright? Ayan. Now, taxation has two purposes. Remember this. Meron tayong tinatawag na primary purpose and we have the secondary purpose. Primary purpose is basically, from our illustration, to raise revenues. To defray the expenses of the government. Alright? Parang sa accounting lang yan, class. Since may expenses ka, dapat may revenues ka rin. Paano mo mapafinance yung expenses mo kung wala kang revenues? Hindi puro losses ka. Tama? So the primary purpose of taxation is basically to raise revenues for the government. For these expenses. For the public. Para sa atin. Okay? Secondary, meron kang dalawa. First is what you call regulatory. Okay? Second is compensatory. Sir, ano yung difference ng dalawa na yan? Regulatory is for regulation or control. Ang best example dito class is yung imposition of sin tax. Are you familiar with sin tax? So, actually sa train law, tinaasan na yung sin tax na yan. You call it sin because actually tax yan sa mga sinful products. For example, cigarettes. And then, mga alcoholic drinks. Okay? Actually, kung napansin nyo class, simula na na-implement yung train law in 2018 or 2019, mas nagmahal na yung mga cigarettes na yan. Okay? Baka na-double nga yata yung prices. Okay? Nagmahal na rin yung mga alcoholic drinks. Kasi class, ang gusto ni government doon is for regulation or control. So gusto ni government is to discourage yung mga consumption of those sinful products. Okay? Yun yung secondary purpose. Alright? Regulatory. Pag compensatory naman class, yung goal naman dito is to reduce or reduction of social inequality. Alright? Social inequality. And very evident yan, yung purpose, yung compensatory purpose, pag tinignan natin class yung progressive system of taxation. Sir, what do you mean by progressive system? Okay, so punta tayo sa G-sheets natin class. Open nyo dyan yung individuals. Yung second sheet, di ba meron tayong general principles and individuals. So tingnan natin yung individuals. Una mo makikita dyan class is the tax table. Alright? Yung, ang tawag natin dyan is the graduated income tax table. Kung mapapansin nyo dyan, 0 to 250,000, 0%. Okay, walang babayaran na tax. If you go to 250,000 to 400,000, 20% of the excess over 250. Okay? Ngayon, pag tumaas naman yung income mo, naging between 400 to 800, 30,000 plus 25%. Ang tawag natin dyan class is the progressive system. As you notice sa table, habang tumataas yung income mo, mas malaki yung binabayaran mo na tax. Alright? So, ibig sabihin, iyan yung reduction of social inequality. Okay? So, to reduce yung inequality dun sa society natin. Actually, ang ibang tawag sa compensatory class is sumptuary. Ayan. Sumptuary. Pag tingnan mo sa dictionary yung ibig sabihin ng sumptuary, it literally means to regulate extravagance. Okay? So, to regulate yung inequalities of wealth sa society natin. That's the secondary purpose of taxation. Again, primary purpose is to raise revenues para sa expenses. Secondary purpose is regulatory. Ang example natin is sin tax. And another secondary purpose is compensatory as evidenced by the progressive system or the graduated income tax table for individuals. Alright, let's proceed to number 2. Okay, theory number 2, the proportional contribution by persons and property levied by the lawmaking body of the state by virtue of its sovereignty for the support of the government and all public needs is referred to as taxes, letter A. So analyze natin yung class. Taxation is different from taxes. Remember that. Yung taxation class, yun yung buong process nito. Okay? Yung buong process. Yung taxes, ito siya. Iyon yung money na binabayad natin sa government. Okay? Specifically sa BIR. Okay? Yung binabayad natin kay BIR. Now, if you look at the definition, proportional contribution by persons and property, underline mo yung persons and property. So, ibig sabihin class, hindi lang pala yung persons yung nagbabayad ng taxes. Yung properties, subject to tax din sila. Alright? Levied by the lawmaking body. Ano ulit class yung lawmaking body? It's the Congress or the legislature. Sila yung may power of taxation, remember? By virtue of sovereignty for the support of the government and public needs. Ito yung public needs or public purpose. Alright? Letter A is the answer, taxes. The primary purpose of taxation. For number 3, alam natin to raise revenues yan. Letter A, to encourage the growth of some industries. So some, it's not home, it's some industries through the proper use of incentives. Actually, class, yung letter A na yan is regulatory. Okay? Lagay mo dyan regulatory. Ang magandang example sa letter A na yung class is, familiar ba kayo dun sa PEZA and BOI? So next time, di-discuss natin yan sa preferential taxation. So yung mga nasa special economic zones, yun yung tawag natin, ng mga companies, meron silang mga incentives. Yung mga PEZA registered, meron silang tinatawag na income tax holiday. Alright? So meron silang number of years, so wala silang babayaran ng kahit anong tax. Okay? So yun yung isang example of regulatory, to encourage the growth of some industries. So, kaya nagbibigay ng mga incentives yan para for PEZA is to attract mga foreign investments. Right? Next time, i-discuss natin yan. Letter B is to implement the police power of the state. Actually, later, i-discuss natin yung police power, but basically, ito rin yan, yung syntax. Right? Yung example natin kanina. So, regulatory din yung letter B na yan. To reduce excessive inequalities of wealth, that's compensatory. The second is to secondary purpose. And letter D, to raise revenues for governmental needs. Answer for number 3 is letter D. Qualities of wealth, that's compensatory. The second is to secondary purpose. And letter D, to raise revenues for governmental needs. Answer for number 3 is letter D. Okay. Which of the following is not a secondary purpose? Basically, alin dito yung primary purpose. Letter A, to serve as key instrument of social control. It's regulatory, secondary purpose yan. Letter B, to effect a more equitable distribution of wealth among people. Letter C, to achieve social and economic stability. So class, yung B and C are both compensatory purposes. And then letter D naman, to raise revenue to defray the expenses. This is the primary purpose of taxation. Answer natin for number 4 is letter D. Okay. Now, let's proceed to what we call the theory of taxation. Sir, ano ba ibig sabihin ng theory of taxation? Ibig sabihin ng class, why do we need taxation? Why does a state need taxation? Alright? Meron tayong 3 theories. Actually, naka-enumerate din yan sa G-sheets natin. I-expound ko lang yan. So, first theory natin is what we call necessity theory. Alright? So, when you say necessity theory, it means that in order for us to have a well-functioning, civilized, orderly society, kailangan natin ng government. Okay? So, it means existence of government is necessary. Ayan. In order for us to have a civilized and orderly society. Existence of government is necessary. Since yung government, makakapag-perform lang siya, makakagalaw lang siya, if meron taxes, it means, in the same way, existence of taxes, okay, or existence of taxation is necessary. Alright? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng necessity theory. Got it? Second theory is what we call lifeblood theory. Pag sinabi namang lifeblood theory, class, okay, lifeblood, alright? So, without taxes, kung walang taxes, hindi mag-exist yung government, alright? Paralyzed yung government. So, lagyan natin dito, without taxation or without taxes, the government cannot exist. Ayan, yun yung ibig sabihin ng lifeblood theory. Got it? Siyempre, how do you finance these expenses kung wala ka namang revenues from your taxes? That's what we call lifeblood theory. And then third theory is what we call benefits protection theory. Alright? When you say benefits protection theory, ibig sabihin niyang class, merong reciprocal duties yung citizens and the government, wherein the citizens provide support to the government by contributing taxes. Ito yung support ni citizens. Okay? In exchange, si government naman, may responsibility siya to provide protection or benefits to the citizens. Ayan. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng benefits protection theory. So, citizens provide support to the government by contributing or by paying taxes. In exchange naman, si government nagbibigay ng protection or benefits to the citizens. That's why ang ibang tawag dito, class, is merong symbiotic relationship between the citizens and the government. Alright? So again, when you say theories of taxation, ibig sabihin lang yan, bakit natin kailangan ng taxation? Bakit natin kailangan ng taxes? Why is there a need for taxation? Necessity theory, lifeblood theory, and benefits protection theory. Okay, let's go to number 5. Which theory of taxation states that without taxes, a government would be paralyzed for lack of power to activate and operate it, resulting in its destruction. We call it lifeblood theory. Okay, without taxes, walang life si government. Alright, yun lang ibig sabihin yan. Number 6, which of the following concepts of taxation? So for number 5 is letter B, avoid. For number 6, which among the following concepts of taxation, okay, is the basis for the situs of income taxation? When you say situs, actually expound natin yan pagdating sa individuals, you call it place of taxation. Okay? Ang sagot natin yung class is letter B, symbiotic relation. Ito. Symbiotic relation or the benefits protection theory. Alright? So let's go to letter B for number 6. Expound natin yan, pero class, kung mapapansin nyo, I think nilagay ko siya dito. Later pa natin siya i-discuss yung situs of taxation. But anyway, B, symbiotic relation for number 6, later expound natin siya. Number 7, treating persons who are similarly situated in the same manner. Ang sagot naman natin yung class for number 7 is equality of taxation. Lagay mo asterisk yan, yung number 7, i-expound natin yan later. Okay? Once we discuss yung inherent and constitutional limitations. Pero answer for number 7 is letter boy. Okay? Now, let's proceed to the characteristics of tax. Characteristics of tax. Again, class, gusto ko lang i-highlight na different yung taxation sa tax. Ulitin ko lang ha. Taxation is the whole process. Yung taxes, yun yung talagang yung pera na binabayad natin to the government. Alright? So, merong characteristics yung tax na yan. Punta tayo dun sa G-sheets natin. Nakita nyo, class, yung A to F. Characteristics of tax, letter A, is forced contribution. Okay? Naka-bold na yung mga important words sa kailangan mong maalala for this. Okay? So, number 1 natin is forced contribution. Forced yan. Okay? Hindi yan optional, basically. So, kapag taxpayer ka, kapag liable ka to pay tax, you are required to pay tax. Okay? Again, hindi yan optional. Now, letter B is nakalagay generally payable in money. So for example, every April 15, nagpa-file tayo tapos nagbabayad tayo ng tax. Ano pinambabayad mo? Siyempre pera, di ba? Money yung pinambabayad mo. Pero as you notice here, class, nakalagay generally payable. Generally, ibig sabihin, may mga instances na pwedeng hindi money yung ipambayad mo. Okay? So for example, class, si BIR, inassess ka. Okay? For example, sabi ni BIR, kulang yung binayad mo na tax. Kulang na 1 million. So na-prove ni BIR na kulang talaga yung binayad mo for 1 million. Wala kang pambayad ng pera, wala kang money, pwedeng ang gawin ni BIR is seize yung properties mo. Alright? So next time, i-discuss natin yan. Kaya nakalagay dyan, class, generally payable in money because there are instances wherein ang pababayad mo kay BIR, properties. Alright? Gets? Letter C, levied for public purpose. Public purpose, isipin mo lang lagi, yung expenses of the government for the benefit of the public yan. Alright? For the benefit of the public. Exclusively levied by legislature. Pag sinabing legislature, iyon yung lawmaking body, iyon yung gumagawa ng batas. It's the Congress. Alright? Letter E, levied within territorial and legal jurisdiction of the state. Ang ibig sabihin ng class, hindi ka pwede mag-impose ng tax sa ibang country. Alright? So, yung tax laws natin, yung batas natin, yung create law, yung train law, applicable lang yan sa territory or jurisdiction natin. Basically, applicable siya sa Pilipinas. Alright? Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na yung mga taga-Indonesia, taga-Malaysia, o sundin yung tax laws namin. Hindi ganun. Within the territory or jurisdiction lang natin. Alright? And then, letter F is proportionate in character. Pag sinabing proportionate in character, magandang example yung class is VAT. Alam natin yung VAT is 12%. Right? Pag ako nagbenta ako ng 1 million pesos, yung sales ko, VAT ko is 120,000, 12%. Right? Pag nagbenta ako ng 2 million, 240,000 yung VAT ko. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng proportionate. Habang tumataas yung base mo, habang tumataas yung sales mo, tumataas yung tax na binabayaran mo. Okay? That's why yung tax is proportionate in character. Alright? So remember this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characteristics of tax. Enumerate natin ulit. Forced contribution, forced. Generally payable in money. Okay? Levied for public purpose. Exclusively levied by the legislature or the Congress. Levied within territorial and legal jurisdiction of the state and proportionate in character. Take note characteristics of tax, hindi to characteristics or of taxation, of tax to yung binabayad natin. Okay? Let's go to number 8. One of the characteristics of a tax is, letter A tax is a pecuniary burden and the law may not allow payment in kind. Kasabi ko lang yung example ko earlier. May mga instances na pag wala kang pera, pambabayad mo dyan, properties. Isi-seize ni government yung properties mo. So, may allow yan. Okay? In some instances lang. Letter A is incorrect. Letter B, it is dependent upon the will or contractual assent, expressed or implied, of the person taxed. Incorrect. Bakit, sir? Because yung tax is a forced contribution. Yung first characteristic natin, forced contribution. So, mali na yung B. Basically, sinasabi sa B, optional yung pagbabayad ng tax. Hindi. Mali yan. Letter C, it is levied by the state by virtue of its sovereignty. That's correct. Okay? Ito yung nagle-levy. Okay? Ito yung nag-i-impose ng tax, particularly the Congress. Letter D, it is collected for public and private purposes. False. Public lang. Mali yung private. Okay? Hindi ka nag-collect ng tax for the benefit of private individuals. Hindi. For public yan. Okay? For the general public. Letter C, yung tama dito. Letter C. It is levied by the state by virtue of its sovereignty. Okay? Let's go to number 9. One of the characteristics of internal revenue tax is that they are A, criminal in nature, B, penal in nature, C, political in nature, D, civil in nature. Best answer dito, class, is letter D, civil in nature. When you say civil in nature, it means it involves the general public. Okay? It involves the general public. As in, pamimilian mo lang dyan, it's either penal in nature or civil in nature. Ang best answer dyan is civil in nature. Yung penal in nature, yung penalties. Kasi class, magkakaroon ka ng penalties as you will learn, matagal pa, next time pa yan sa remedies, kapag kulang yung bayad mo kay BIR, for example, ang tawag na doon is deficiency or late yung payment mo, we call it delinquency, merong penalty si BIR sa'yo. Okay? Pero yung penalties na yun, consequence na lang yun. Okay? Para i-force ka ni BIR to pay the correct amount on time. Alright? So it means yung penal in nature, pwede mo sabihin na secondary na lang siya. But the primary nature of taxation is civil in nature, letter D. Okay? Doubt yan. Sige. So, ganun ang approach natin, class. Dahan-dahan tayo. So, hindi natin agad i-discuss yung lahatan. Okay? So, gawin natin, discuss ng konti, then sagot ng handouts, then balik sa discussion. So, ganun gagawin natin, class. Okay. Now, erase ko muna to. May space tayo. Okay, so yung first topic natin, general principles, medyo boring yung class kasi very conceptual. Yung mga di-discuss natin here, wala tayong any computations. Pero for this topic, malalaman na rin natin what will be the scope of our review, ano yung mga topics na i-discuss natin moving forward. Alright, so let's proceed to the nature of taxation. Nature of taxation. Ayan. Number 1 is inherent power of the state. Of the state. Yung keyword dito is inherent. Ano ba ibig sabihin na inherent? Inherent power of the state. Yan yung ibig sabihin ng class. For example, tayo. Pag panganak sa atin, meron tayong heartbeat. Okay? Meron tayong pulse. Humihinga tayo. Right? So, inherent sa atin yan. Alright? Yung ibig sabihin ng inherent power of the state, yung nature of taxation, yung country natin, yung state natin, yung government natin, in the same way na by its nature, meron na sila agad power of taxation. Okay? Hindi na kailangan ng grant or hindi na kailangan ng permission from the people, from the citizens, or from the Constitution para magkaroon ng power of taxation. Okay? Ever since nagkaroon ng government, nagkaroon ng state, meron na agad power of taxation. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng inherent power of the state. Got it? Next. Second one is legislative in character. Legislative in character. So tandaan mo, class, the power of taxation is vested exclusively on the Congress. Alright? Or the legislature. Yung Congress, ang ginagawa niyan, later, expound natin siya, but basically, yung Congress natin, yun yung nag-i-impose ng tax. Okay, siya lang. Sa kanya lang yung power na yan. Kaya sinabing legislative in character. Okay? And number 3 is nature of taxation. Taxation is subject to inherent and constitutional limitations. So later, expound natin isa-isa yung mga limitations na yan. But basically, ang ibig sabihin niyang class na subject to inherent and constitutional limitations, the power of taxation is not absolute. Okay? Hindi pwedeng sabihin ni government natin, lahat kayo dyan, yung mga nagbebenta ng, for example, mga vehicles, so sige, magbayad kayo ng additional tax sa amin, 5%. Hindi pwedeng ganun. May mga limitations yan. Alright? The power of taxation is not absolute. So later, alamin natin ano yung mga inherent and constitutional limitations. Okay? Now, illustrate natin further yan. Next. I-erase ko muna to. Hindi natin sulat. Illustrate natin further yung ibig sabihin ko dito na legislative in character. Right? Sige. So be patient lang sa mga examples natin, so discussion natin. So again, sa general principles, medyo marami tayong isusulat, pero I think this will help you in understanding taxation. Now, expound natin yung number 2 na yan. So ano ibig sabihin muna legislative in character? Let's discuss briefly yung branches of the government. Branches of government. Alright? So in the Philippines, we have what we call the republic form. Kaya Republic of the Philippines. Okay? Pag sinabing republic, ibig sabihin class, meron tayo, it's a presidential form. Meron tayong president, meron tayong vice president. Alright? Meron tayong mga senators, may mga congressmen tayo. Ang tawag natin doon is republic form of government. Now, we have what we call the 3 branches of government. Number 1 is legislative. We have the executive. And we have the judiciary. Ayan. Legislative, executive, and judiciary. Tignan natin class, ano yung rules nila when it comes to taxation. Okay, lagyan natin dito, rules. Okay? So for legislative class, ang rule niya is basically, yung legislative function niya is basically yung imposition, okay, / enactment of tax. Okay? Imposition of tax / enactment of tax laws. Right? Ito yung functions ng legislature natin. Imposition of tax or enactment of tax law. So, ibig sabihin, class, yun yung gumagawa ng batas. Actually, ang ibig sabihin ng legislate, yung word na legislate, ang ibig sabihin yan to create or to enact tax laws. Right? Yun yung gumagawa ng batas natin. Now, illustrate natin yung class. So, lagyan natin number 1, legislative, number 2, executive, and number 3, judiciary. Okay. So, dito natin illustrate yan. Now, lagay ko dito, number 1. Ibig sabihin, I'm referring to legislative. Okay. So, yung legislative class, in the Philippines, meron tayong 2 houses. We have what we call the Senate. Yung Senate natin, ito yung upper house. And we have the House of Representatives or lower house. Ayan. Lower house. So we know for the Senate, we have the senators. No? For the House of Representatives naman, meron tayong what we call the congressmen. Right? So again, yung role ng legislative is the enactment or creation of tax laws. And dyan natin i-impose yung tax sa mga taxpayers. Now, kailangan mag-follow yan ang tinatawag natin na legislative process. Paano ba nagkakaroon ng tax laws? Actually, tandaan mo lang yung 4 steps na to. Okay? So, meron tayong, again, yung tawag natin sa legislature class, ito yung Congress. Right? Yung Congress natin may 2 houses. Senate is the upper house, and the House of Representatives is the lower house. Now, paano ba nagkakaroon ng batas, yung tax natin? Pinakamaganda example nito class, yung create. Kasi yung create yung pinaka-recent. Mag-start siya with, magkakaroon tayo ng hearings muna sa House of Representatives. Alright? So, merong congressman na mag-o-author ng bill muna sa simula mag-o-author ng bill, okay? And then magkakaroon ng mga deliberations and hearings dun sa House of Representatives. Yun yung first step. Ulitin ko, first step, bago yung bill maging law, okay? Meron munang congressman na mag-o-author ng bill, okay? And then, sa House of Representatives, magkakaroon ng series of deliberations and, mga hearings. Magkakaroon ka ng tinatawag natin na House version. Alright? Yung House version na yan, class, dadalhin niya sa Senate. Ito siya. House muna, and then dadalhin sa Senate. Sa Senate naman, magkakaroon ulit ng series of deliberations and hearings. Alright? So after that, pag pumasa sa Senate, ang tawag natin doon is the Senate version. Got it? Ngayon, Senate version na yan and House version, possible na may mga conflicting dyan sa versions nila. Tama? Kasi syempre, yung House of Representatives, ang nag-hearings dyan yung mga congressmen. Sa Senate naman, yung mga senators. So, possible na may mga conflict sa dalawa na yan. Yung third step dito, class, sa legislative process natin is what we call yung BICAM. Merong bicameral committee, magkakaroon ulit ng series of deliberations and hearings dyan. Ang purpose ng BICAM class is to reconcile yung conflicts ng House and Senate versions. Got it? And then, after that, yung final stage is sa President na. President of the Philippines. So, si President, meron siyang pwede niyang gawin dyan, i-veto niya yung items. So, ibig sabihin, parang hindi siya approved dun sa ibang items. And after that, pipirmahan na niya yung bill na yan. Once na pirmahan ng President yung bill, magiging law na yan, batas na yan. Okay? That's the process. That's the legislative process. Para yung bill maging law. So, class yung sa create, may mga items doon na veto si President. Alright? And I think yung biggest item doon na veto niya is, do you remember class yung pagdating sa VAT, yung sale of house and lot? Yung threshold doon, I think it's 2 million dati. Okay? Ngayon, ang gusto ng nung House and Senate, i-increase yun to 4.2 million. Okay? 2 million to 4.2 million para maging subject to VAT siya. Okay? Now, veto ni President yun. So basically, pag sabi veto, hindi approve si President doon. So na-retain yung 2 million. Okay? Pero I think recent, nag-increase na yung 2 million kasi nagkaroon ng change dahil sa price index, tumaas na siya to, I think, 3.2 million. Basically, may mga items na may power si President to veto. Alright? So from House, magkaka-House version ka. Pag pumasa sa House yan, puproceed sa Senate, okay? Kakaroon ka ng Senate version to resolve the conflict sa BICAM. Meron tayong bicameral committee. After that, dadalhin kay President. Si President, i-veto niya. Pag sinay niya yung bill, magiging batas na yan. Ganun yung nangyari sa Create Law. Iyon yung legislative process. Iyon yung role of the legislative or the Congress pagdating sa taxes. Got it? Okay. Now, this legislative function, okay, or the power, is an inherent power. Ito siya. Inherent power. Ibig sabihin, class, hindi kailangan ng grant from the people or grant from the law. Okay? Para magkaroon ng power of taxation. So gusto kong linawin yun. Yung power of taxation is inherent sa lahat ng bansa. Inherent power of the state. Alright? Pero yung power to create tax laws, okay? Power to create tax laws, kailangan dumaan siya sa legislative process. Nag-gets nyo ba yan? Okay, ulitin ko ha. Yung power of taxation, inherent sa lahat ng state yan. Inherent, hindi kailangan ng any law para i-grant, okay? Pero yung power to create tax laws, okay? For example, mag-i-impose ka ng bagong tax. Kunyari, itong markers, lahat ng bibenta ng marker, magbayad kayo ng additional 1% tax. Tax law yun. Kailangan dumaan ng legislative process yun. Diba? Okay. So, iba yung power of taxation sa power to create tax laws. Ayan, yung legislative function. When you say executive naman, class, ang role naman yan is administrative function lang. Admin lang. Basically, nandyan yung assessment and collection of taxes. Right? So, ibig sabihin, class, yung executive, hindi siya inherent power. Ang tawag sa kanya, delegated power. Right? So, ang may inherent power lang is the Congress or the legislature. Ngayon, hindi kaya ni Congress lahat yan. Okay? Yung administrative function, nagpatulong siya dito kay executive. Okay? Basically, pag sabi mong executive, ayan, executive function, it's administrative function. Assessment, okay? Basically, ibig sabihin ng assessment, class, is just audit. Okay? So, papatulong si legislative sa kanya yung pag-audit ng mga taxpayers and yung collection. Diyan tayo nagbabayad. Kaya, class, yung BIR is actually under the executive branch of the government. So, lagyan natin dito, executive, no? Lagyan natin 2. Ayan. Yung executive class, executive branch of the government is composed of the president and the vice president. Right? President and VP. Ngayon, yung president na yung class, siya yung nag-a-appoint ng mga cabinet secretaries. When you say cabinet secretaries, sila yung mga departments. For example, Department of Health, Secretary of Department of Health, Secretary of DPWH, Secretary of Department of Finance. Ang nag-a-appoint niyan, si President. Ang tawag natin sa kanila, yun yung cabinet. Right? And also, si President din, kasama sa department na yan, yung mga bureaus. Okay? Bureaus, for example, Bureau of Internal Revenue, Bureau of Customs, under executive arm of the government yan. Si President din yung nag-a-appoint nun. And we know na si BIR, siya yung in charge dun sa assessment and collection of taxes. Alright? So, ulitin ko, very important. Yung executive is just delegated power. Yung legislative is an inherent power. Alright? Okay. So, si BIR is under executive arm of the government. Okay. So, ano pa yung kailangan nyo tandaan dyan? I think yun lang. And then, judiciary naman, class, basically, ang role niya, okay? Ang role niya is the interpretation of tax laws. Interpretation of tax laws. Ayan. So, interpretation of tax laws. So, nandyan, class, yung sa judiciary, nandyan yung mga tax cases. Alright? So, lagyan natin dito, number 3, dito yung judiciary. Actually, meron tayong tinatawag na Supreme Court. Okay? SC. This is the highest court. And then, meron din tayo, class, na lower courts. Pag lower courts, ang ibig sabihin yan, nandyan yung Court of Tax Appeals. Okay? Court of Appeals. Nandyan din, class, yung Regional Trial Court, Municipal Trial Court, etc. So, yung judiciary naman, class, ang role niya, pagdating sa tax, is to resolve yung mga tax cases. Okay? Is to resolve the conflict sa mga tax cases. So, andyan yung Supreme Court. We know yung Supreme Court, yan na yung highest court. Ibig sabihin, pag nag-decide na yung Supreme Court, final na yan. Okay? Final and executory na yan. Meron din tayong mga lower courts. The CTA, okay? Court of Appeals, RTC, or MTC, etc. So, as taxpayers, ayan, pwede tayo mag-appeal sa mga. Aralin natin yung sa remedies. So, basically, pwede tayo mag-appeal sa lower courts and pwede rin tayo mag-appeal sa Supreme Court. Okay, so ulitin natin, class. Sa branches of the government, meron tayong Legislative, executive, and judiciary. Legislative is basically in charge with the imposition of tax or enactment of tax laws. Executive is the administrative function, assessment and collection. The judiciary naman is interpretation of tax law. So basically, yung judiciary, yun yung mga nag-handle ng tax cases. Nandiyan yung Supreme Court and the lower courts. Okay, let's go to number 10. Okay, number 10. Which of the following is the nature of taxation? Ito. Nature of taxation. The power is granted by legislative action. False. Bakit, sir? Inherent power yan. Okay? Hindi yan granted by legislative. Hindi mo kailangan ng grant ng legislative. Ang may kailangan ng grant of ng legislative is the tax laws. Okay? Pero yung power of taxation, hindi mo kailangan ng grant. False yung A. B, it is essentially an administrative function. False. It is essentially a legislative function. So false yung B. C, it is generally payable in money. Okay sana, kaya lang. Yung generally payable in money, actually, is a characteristic of tax. Hindi siya nature of taxation. C is false. Without it, the state can continue to exist. False yun. Cannot continue to exist. And actually, yung D, it refers to tax. Okay, hindi siya nature of taxation. So, basically, sa 10, none of the above yung sagot dyan. Walang tama dyan. A, B, C, and D are all incorrect. Okay? Sige. So, lagay mo lang number 10, none of the above. Okay, let's go to number 11. Being legislative in nature, the power to tax may not be delegated except, alright. Again, general rule natin, si Congress, yung may exclusive power to tax, okay? Pwede mo siyang, yung general rule. Merong exceptions dyan, alright? Yung exceptions, yung A, B, C, okay? To local government or political subdivisions, okay? When allowed by Constitution and when delegation relates to merely to administrative, okay? Implementation that may call for some degree of discretionary powers under a set of sufficient standards. Yung letter C class, ito yung ibig sabihin ko dyan. Dinelegate mo sa executive, kay BIR, yung assessment and collection. Sino ba yung nag-assess, sino ba yung nagko-collect na yan? Actually, through the help of yung mga RDOs. Later, explain natin yan, yung mga revenue district offices, okay? Mga RDOs. Ayan, basically, dapat dyan ka mag-file, mag-pay ng taxes. Anyway, yung to local governments or political subdivisions, actually, pwede ko na rin palang i-expound yan. Okay, so class, okay lang ba erase ko na to. Okay, so erase ko na to. And then, this one. Okay, erase ko na rin to. Sige. Okay, so class, yung in-explain ko earlier, ang tawag natin yung class is the national government. Alright? Meron tayong tinatawag na local government. Okay? Now, sir, bakit may local government? Kasi class, yung national government na yan, it is impractical for them to oversee, to administer yung buong population natin. 100 plus million tayo, okay? So, if centralized lang siya sa national government, may hihirapan yan sa efficient na execution ng tax laws natin. Kaya kailangan ng local government. And yung local government, actually, nag-arise siya because of the 1987 Constitution. 1987 Constitution. The 1987 Constitution class created the Local Government Code. Alright? The Local Government Code. Now, meron tayong tinatawag natin na LGUs or Local Government Units. Yung LGUs na yung class, iyan yung counterpart ng national government. Alright? So, meron tayong divide natin into 3 yung LGUs natin. Meron tayong provinces. Alright? We have cities or municipalities. And we have the barangays. Ayan. Ulitin ko, pag sabi mong LGUs or the Local Government Units, we have the provinces, cities or municipalities, and barangays. So, kasi imagine, kung ang mag-execute pa nung sa barangay level, yung Congress, di ba? Impractical yun. So parang sa MAS yan, meron tayong concept na centralization and decentralization. So yung sa LGUs na yan, ang tawag dyan, decentralization. Tama? So may autonomy sila na gumawa ng sarili nilang batas and mag-execute. Now, kung meron kang legislative, executive, and judiciary pagdating sa national government, meron ka rin ganun sa LGUs. Okay? Mag-focus lang tayo sa legislative and executive because yung judiciary na yan, applicable yan sa lahat, both sa national government and local government. So ito yung executive class. Executive and legislative. Executive is the provinces, alam natin yan, headed siya by a governor. Okay? So kung si president, yung executive sa national government, si governor siya yung executive pagdating sa provinces. Got it? Okay. Cities and municipalities, alam natin, yun naman yung mayors. Okay? Governors, mayors. Theoretically, class, yung cities and municipalities, different yan. Okay? Ang classification niya magdidepend if sa population and sa income ng mga tao within the cities and municipalities. Pero for our purposes, i-combine na natin yan. Cities, municipalities. Governors, mayors, sa barangays naman, yung executive dyan, ang tawag natin, yung barangay captain. Siguro, kilala nyo yung barangay captain nyo, yung mayor and governor nyo. Ayan. Sila yung mga executive. Councilors, barangay captain, councilors, and SK, or sangguniang kabataan. Ayan. So, yun yung executive. So, again, ano yung role ng executive pagdating sa taxes? It's basically administrative function. Ang ginagawa nila, assessment and collection. Got it? Okay. Now, yung legislative naman, pagdating sa LGUs, yan yung mga sanggunian. Naririnig niyo yung mga sanggunian? So, sa provincial level, we call it sangguniang panlalawigan. Right? For cities, municipalities level, sangguniang bayan. And then, sa barangay level, we call it sangguniang barangay. Or itong, mas alam niyo, yung sangguniang kabataan or SK. Right? Now, ano ulit class yung role of the legislative? Basically, yun yung imposition and enactment. Imposition and enactment. Ayan. Okay. So, ayan. So, we have the national government and we have the local government. Sa national government, tandaan mo, inherent power yan of taxation. While sa local government, this is also a delegated power. Okay, dalawa na yung delegated power natin. Ano isa? Yung isa, dinelegate natin sa executive, in particular kay BIR. Okay? Yung isa, dinelegate natin sa LGUs. But again, yung inherent power lang is sa legislative. Okay? Sa national government. Sige, so let's go back to number 11. Being legislative in nature, the power to tax may not be delegated except to local governments, to LGUs or political subdivisions. A is correct. B, when allowed by Constitution. Actually, yung allowed by Constitution, ito yun. Naka-mention sa Constitution yan. Alright? Letter C, when delegation relates merely to administrative implementation, assessment and collection, that's correct. A, B, and C are correct. Answer dito class is letter D, all of the choices. Number 12, although the power of taxation is basically legislative in character, it is not the function of Congress to A, fix with certainty the amount of taxes, function ng Congress yan. B, collect the tax levied under the law, hindi yan function ng Congress. Kaninong function yan? It's the function of the executive arm of the government or the BIR. Alright? So yung B na yung class, yan yung sagot dyan. Okay? Not the function of Congress, letter B, collection and assessment. Okay, letter C, identify who should collect the tax and determine who should be subject to tax. A, C, and D are functions of the Congress. Alright? So, yeah. Number 13, the levying and imposition. Okay, levying for the legislature and imposition of tax and collection of tax are processes which constitute the taxation system. Actually, class, ang tawag natin dyan, these are the aspects of taxation. Okay? So, letter B yung sagot natin for number 13. Again, levying, imposition, and the collection of tax, aspects of taxation, letter B. Alright? Number 14, the official action of an officer authorized by law in ascertaining the amount of tax due under the law from a taxpayer, ang tawag natin dyan class, is the assessment or basically audit. So, narinig nyo na ba yung, na-assess ni BIR yan? Okay. Pag na-assess ka ni BIR, na-audit ka ni BIR. Yun ibig sabihin nun. Okay? Yun yung number 14, the official action of an officer authorized by law in ascertaining the amount of tax, we call it assessment, letter A. Okay? The actual effort exerted by the government to effect the exaction of what is due from the taxpayer, yun naman yung collection. Okay? Answer for number 15 is letter D, collection. Deals with the provisions of the law, which determines the person or property to be taxed, the sums to be raised, the rate thereof, and the time and manner of levying, receiving, collecting. Ang tawag natin dyan class is levy. So basically, yung ginagawa ng legislature, ito yung levy. The imposition of tax, the creation of tax law, ibang tawag natin dyan is levy, letter D. Dog for number 16. Okay, number 17, when the power to tax is delegated to the local government, A, only the local executive can exercise the power, only the legislative branch can exercise the power. Actually, sagot dito class is letter C, the local executive, alright, and the legislative branch of the government can exercise the power, letter C. Okay. 18, levying of the local government taxes may be exercised by A, the local executive only, B, the legislative branch of the government only, C, the local executive and the legislative branch, D, neither of the local nor the legislative. Okay, so yung levying, when you say levying, yun yung imposition and enactment of tax laws, alright? Sino makakagawa niyan? Legislative lang, legislature lang. Sagot natin for number 18 is letter B, the legislative branch of the local government only. Alright, boy for number 18. Number 19, where does taxing power of the provinces, municipalities, and cities proceed from? So bakit sila nagkaroon kasi ng taxing power? Answer natin dito is letter A, constitutional grant. Okay, because of this, the 1987 Constitution created the local government code, kaya nagkaroon ng taxing power yung mga LGUs na yan. Right? Actually, meron tayo class separate session for local taxes. Next time pa, matagal pa. But basically, di-discuss natin yung LG, local government code. Alright, answer natin dito is letter A, constitutional grant. Alright? Now, let's go to number 20. All of the following except one are basic principles of sound tax system. Sige, so discuss muna natin yan. Mabilis ang class. Dito tayo sa sound or stable tax system. Pag sinabi mong sound, ibig sabihin ng class, yun yung stable tax system. How do you know if ang isang sovereign, ang isang state, meron siyang sound tax system? Actually, meron tayong 3 characteristics, right? Number 1 is what we call fiscal adequacy. Number 2 is equality or theoretical justice. And number 3 is administrative feasibility. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin lang yung class, kapag present yung 3 na yan, yung criteria natin na yan, we can say na yung tax system of a state, of a country, is sound, or when you say sound, stable. Right? Pag sabi mong fiscal adequacy, it just means that yung taxes natin, yung revenues natin from taxes, exceed the expenses of the government. Okay? Yun ang ibig sabihin ng fiscal adequacy. So, pag mas mataas yung revenues expenses, ang tawag natin doon is meron tayong budget surplus. Right? Pag naman yung expenses mas mataas sa revenues, we call it budget deficit. And if may budget deficit, yung government nagre-resort siya sa ibang source of funding. Okay? For example, yung pandemic, right? Nagballoon yung foreign loans natin to, I think, 10 or 11 trillion pesos. Okay? Because kulang yung revenues natin from taxes. So, ginawa ni government, nag-borrow ng foreign loans. Right? So, yan, dito may problema tayo sa fiscal adequacy. You can say na, since marami tayong foreign loans, yung Philippine tax system, hindi adequate yung revenues natin to support the expenses. Right? Fiscal adequacy. Number 2, equality or theoretical justice. When you say equality or theoretical justice, it means the tax system should be based on the ability to pay of the taxpayers. Alright? So yung ability to pay na yan, again, is also evidence dun sa progressive tax system natin. Again, ano yung example natin ng progressive tax system? Yung pinakita ko sa inyo na table for individuals. So, pag na-reach mo yung certain amount, mas malaki yung tax na babayaran mo. Okay? Pag na-reach mo yung next level ng income, mas malaki yung tax na babayaran mo. We call it equality or theoretical justice. Yung amount of tax that we pay to the government is in proportion to our ability to pay taxes. Right? Ayan. Yun yung progressive tax system. Pag sinabi mo namang administrative feasibility, it means class, the taxes are not excessive, okay? Not too little. Kasi kapag excessive class yung taxes natin, well, yung mga business owners, syempre, madi-discourage na yan to start businesses, right? Pagka naman masyadong mababa yung taxes natin, maapektuhan yung fiscal adequacy natin, hindi naman mapu-fund yung mga expenses natin. Also, in relation to administrative feasibility, ang ibig sabihin din class niyan is both yung collection, assessment and collection, okay? Very feasible. For example, in terms of collection, every April 15, so yun yung deadline natin for tax, magpo-file tayo kay BIR, tama? Magpo-file tayo, ito magbabayad tayo. Now, I think okay tayo in terms of administrative feasibility because yung filing ngayon, hindi ka na kailangan pumila sa mga RDOs, okay, mga revenue district offices. Hindi mo na kailangan pumila dyan. Kasi yung filing ngayon, basically e-filing, electronic filing. So sa website ni BIR, pwede kang mag-file doon. And then may mga BIR forms doon, electronic. And then actually yung payment naman, madali lang din kasi pwede kang magbayad using your phones. Okay, doon sa mga banking mobile apps mo, pwede kang magbayad dyan. I think sa GCash, pwede ka rin magbayad and other forms of payment. So when it comes to administrative feasibility, so I believe na okay yung Philippines pagdating dyan. Okay, so dito equality and administrative feasibility, dito lang tayo medyo may issues of fiscal adequacy. Alright? So in relation din class dun sa administrative feasibility, dapat yung tax laws natin very clear. Okay? Clear tax laws. For example, yung create, dapat yung provisions nun, very clear yun sa mga taxpayers. Tama? Para hindi magkaroon ng confusion sa mga taxpayers. Ayan. That's what you call administrative feasibility. Again, pag present yung tatlo na yan, fiscal adequacy, equality, administrative feasibility, we can say that the tax system of a certain state is sound or stable. Alright? Let's go to number 20. All of the following except one are basic principles of the sound tax system. A. Fiscal adequacy, yes. B. Theoretical justice, yes. C. Administrative feasibility, yes. Inherent in sovereignty, no. Walang ganyan. Walang ganyan. D is the answer for number 20. 21. Under this basic principle of sound tax system, the government should not incur a deficit. Fiscal adequacy, letter C. Number 22. The tax imposed should be proportionate to the taxpayer's ability to pay. Equality or theoretical justice, letter B. Boy. The tax laws must be capable of convenient, just, effective administration. So it means yung assessment, filing, okay, yung payment of taxes, yung tax laws natin very clear. Ang tawag natin doon is letter C, administrative feasibility. Number 24. The following, except one, are basic principles of a sound tax system. A. It should be capable of being effectively enforced. Yes, administrative feasibility. Letter B. It must be progressive. Equality or theoretical justice. Letter C, sources of revenue must be sufficient to meet the government expenditures. Fiscal adequacy, letter C. It should be exercised to promote public welfare. No, except dog. Right? Except dog. Okay. And after that, discuss naman natin class dito yung what we call the next is inherent powers of the state. Dito natin lagay. Whenever you see mga reference books for tax, yun agad yung unang i-discuss. Inherent powers of the state. So lagay natin dito, inherent powers of the state. Basically, meron tayong tatlong inherent powers. Okay? Number 1 is power of taxation. Number 2, we have the eminent domain. And then number 3 is the police power. So basically, yung taxation, well, kaya na pa natin di-discuss yan. It's basically the levying or imposition of tax. Right? Again, when you say inherent powers, hindi mo kailangan ng constitutional grant, hindi mo kailangan ng permission from the people, from the citizens. So as long as may government, may state, may country, yung tatlo na yan, present agad yan. Right? Taxation, eminent domain, and police power. When you say eminent domain naman, class, it's basically taking of private property. Okay? Private, ha? Private property. So, yung common example dito is, for example, construction of highways. Ayan. For example, ka sa place nyo, example, sa province ka. Sa province mo, yung government nag-decide na mag-construct na highway. Alright? Tapos madadaanan yung house and lot nyo. Yung lupa nyo madadaanan. Meron tinatawag tayo na power of eminent domain. So, ang mangyayari dyan, class, kailangan yung umalis dun sa lugar nyo na yan. Alright? So, hindi kailangan ng consent mo. You're required to leave that place. Okay? Well, babayaran ka naman ni government. Okay? Theoretical, fair market value, babayaran sa yung place mo na yan. Ang tawag natin doon is eminent domain. Alright? So, hindi ka pwedeng mag-no sa government pag ganun because it's an inherent power of the state. Okay? Eminent domain tawag natin dyan. Now, when you say police power naman, class, this just means na ito yung enactment of laws, okay, batas, in order to promote public welfare, right? Or sa safety ng mga citizens or yung for protection, right? For example, class, certain ba example sa police power? For example, class, yung pag-require ng driver's license. This is an exercise sa police power because hindi basta-basta kahit sino lang pwede makapag-drive. Para sa safety natin yan ng mga citizens. Kailangan mo i-pass yung test, kailangan may driver's license ka before you can drive. Ano pa? Business permit. Okay? Hindi lahat ng business pwedeng mag-operate. Mga illegal businesses, hindi pwede yan. Dapat legal yung business mo. Paano ka magkakaroon ng legal business? You first have to obtain business permits. That's an exercise of police power. Alright? Ano pa? For example, yung passport renewal. Alright? Passport renewal, ano pa? For example, yung PRC license. For example, CPAs na kayo. Kailangan every 3 years ipaparenew mo yan. Kasi hindi pwedeng basta-basta kung sino lang yung mag-exercise ng profession. Dapat licensed professional ka. Right? So, yun yung mga examples of police power. Ano pa? Yung mga smuggled goods. Tama? Yung protection natin sa police or sa mga military natin. For example, yung mag-confiscate sila ng mga smuggled goods. Ayan. For public welfare yan. For the safety of yung mga citizens yan. We call it the police power. Right? So again, kaya di-discuss yung inherent powers of the state niya sa mga reference books. Gusto lang i-highlight sa'yo na aside from taxation, meron pang dalawang inherent powers yung state. Eminent domain and police power. Pero among this class, yung tatlo na yan, ang strongest dyan, okay, is taxation. Okay? Yan yung yan yung strongest power among the three. Bakit, sir? Kasi class, yung eminent domain, well, limited lang yan sa private property of individuals. Right? Yung police power naman, for example, yung driver's license, syempre, fixed amount lang naman yan. Tama? Yung business permit, fixed amount lang naman yan. Depende yan sa sales mo, depende sa, well, ibig sabihin yan, compared to taxation na yung amount niyan will depend on kung how much yung income mo. Okay? Kung may 100 million income ka, dun base yung taxation. Dun base yung taxes mo. Right? So yung taxation is the most comprehensive, is the strongest among all inherent powers of the state. Right? Okay. Ayan. And ano pa? Ano pwede natin sabihin dyan? Also, yung taxation class, again, it encompasses both persons and properties. Okay? Kung mapapansin nyo class, eminent domain, property lang yan. Sa police power, well, basically businesses, persons. Tama? Pero sa taxation, lahat ng persons, taxpayers, and properties, and rights, taxable yung mga yan. Right? Kaya, yun yung power of taxation. Okay, so let's go to number 25. The power to demand proportionate contributions from persons and property to defray the expenses of the government. Letter A, power of taxation. Number 26, the power of the state or those to whom the power has been delegated to take private property for public use upon paying to the owner a just compensation. Don't worry, kapag eminent domain naman, babayaran ka at fair market value. You call it letter A, power of eminent domain. Number 27, the power of the state to enact laws in relation to persons and property as may promote public health, public morals, public safety, general welfare of the people, police power. Right? Letter B. Tingnan natin class. The following are similarities of the inherent power of taxation, eminent domain, and police power. Ano yung mga similarities nila? A, necessary attributes of sovereignty. Yes. B, interfere with private rights and property. Yes. Yung taxation, binabayad mo, pera mo. Private property yun. Right? Eminent domain, binibigay mo yung land mo, private property. Police power, sa mga licenses na yan, private property yung binibigay, pambayad mo sa mga licenses. Letter C, affect all persons or the public. False yan. Because sa eminent domain, hindi lahat yan affected. Kung sino lang yung example natin kanino, sino madadaanan ng highway. Alright? So, kaya yung letter C, mali yan. Affect all persons or the public. Sa eminent domain, affects private individuals. Our legislative implementation, that's correct. So, lahat yan, taxation, eminent domain, and police power, inherent powers of the state yan, purely legislative in character yan. Alright? C is the answer for number 28. Number 29, which statement refers to the police power as distinguished from taxation? Alin daw dito yung police power? Letter A, it can only be imposed on a specific property or properties. A is eminent domain. B, the amount imposed depends on whether the activity is useful or not. Actually, that's correct. No? So, for example, yung business permit. No? So, yung amount niyan, magdedepende yan kung pag legal yan, syempre, you're required to pay business permit para makapag-operate ka ng business. Otherwise, may illegal yan. Tama? Kapag wala kang business permit din, nag-operate ka, illegal yan. Okay? Kailangan mo ng business permit. Letter C, it involves the taking of property by the government. That's eminent domain. Letter D naman, the amount imposed has no limits. Taxation, walang limits yan. Alright? Unlimited yung income mo, okay? Unlimited yung taxes. As long as may expenses yung government, kailangan may taxes. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng no limits. Answer natin class, yung police power dito is letter B. Alright? Number 30, which of the following may not raise money for the government? Taxation, yes, mag-raise ng money yan, revenue yan. Police power, yes, yung mga permits. How about yung eminent domain? Hindi. In fact, yung government pa yung magbabayad sa'yo at fair market value. So, ibig sabihin, pag power of eminent domain, gagastos yung government. Letter C yung answer for number 30. Okay, in this power of the state, a person who is parting with his money or property is presumed to receive a benefit. Answer natin dito class is taxation. Alright? So, yung taxation na yan, ang assumption is, since for public purpose yan, ang assumption is, magbe-benefit lahat ng public. Alright? Letter A, taxation. Sige. Yung number 32, okay, moving forward, number 32 to 39, I think, ano naman yan, inherent and constitutional limitations. Let's take a short break first before we go to the limitations. Okay?